This is the single most significant event in BC Western Canada political history right now.
We don't need these restrictions. The cost benefit is not there.
Don't let the government keep fooling us. They've been lying to us for years.
You want to stay home and that makes you feel safe, please do that. You want to wear a mask, please do that. But do not force that on me.
Vancouver saw its largest freedom-focused anti-lockdown movement over the past weekend, and Rebel News was there to cover it. Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, of course. And if you are a subscriber to rebelnews.com, then you may remember the Vancouver Freedom Rally 2020 protest mid-September. It was full of passionate freedom lovers from all around the Lower Mainland. Well, the same organizers of that protest, including Ryan Kilbalba from A Celebration of Freedoms and Rights, had a bigger vision for the rally they hosted over this past Saturday and Sunday. It was called a BC Freedom Mega Rally, except it didn't just attract protesters from British Columbia. Canadians concerned about things like side effects to COVID-19 restrictions and lockdowns, government overreach, and lack of transparency from media and the government regarding COVID-19 came from all over Western Canada, as far away as Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Now, even though we have covered peaceful protests in the past from the very same groups who hosted this rally, we at Rebel News had to hire 2 bodyguards to keep my cameraman and myself safe on Saturday. Now, I must stress that it was not because of the protesters themselves, but rather due to a far-left cancel mob of alarmists that we just didn't know what their message was going to attract to the protests. So that part of the other side of the story pertaining to that mob actually warrants its own complete report, which I am committed to bringing to you soon. Trust me, you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed at rebelnews.com so you don't miss that madness. But for now, I want to just remind you guys that we really appreciate any of our Rebel supporters who continue to head to journalistdefensefund.com. That's where you can make it safe for us to practice our independent journalism, both physically and legally. So thank you so much for heading there and doing that. Now, let's get on to the spirit of the protests, which after watching some of the footage, I need to recalibrate my initial size estimation. I'd actually say, after watching the footage, it's closer to 2,000 Canadians that gathered over this last weekend who were concerned about their rights and freedoms. Now here's what they had to say.
To stop the lockdowns, to stop the shutdown, to stop the media lies, and to set Canada free! Thank you!
This is the single most significant event in BC Western Canada political history right now. Okay, 5 hours of protesting, of marching, and world-renowned doctors and speakers agreeing to speak at Vancouver here, live streaming with us. They know the significance of what we're doing. We have thousands of people here supporting this cause. We've had people from Winnipeg, Saskatoon, Edmonton, Calgary coming here. This was called the BC Freedom Rally. It has become the Western Canada Freedom Rally. This has been the most phenomenal thing I've ever been a part of, and I'm just humbled to actually just be a part of it. We have had such a great crew put this together, and I want to thank everybody from the top, well, to the top also, because we're all at the top. Everyone who showed up for this, thank you for making this what it is.
This kind of cost that is being put on society in terms of employment, in terms of taxes, in terms of personal freedom, in terms of the right to dance in a nightclub. Like, come on, people, let's get serious here. How are people not protesting? Now, again, I think it's warranted to have restrictions on civil liberties when there's an actual live danger and you don't know much about it. But as I said already, when you know more about this disease, when we know its deadliness is a little bit, not a little bit less, it's a little bit more than the regular flu, but it's not 7%. It's not what we thought. 10% of the world's population has already gotten this disease. We don't need these restrictions. The cost benefit is not there.
So what do you say to the people who are like, well, that's all nice, hugs are great and everything, but you're killing people by hugging people?
Well, the science actually says the opposite. The science, there's a study, it's called Blue Zones, published years back, that shows the biggest indicator of longevity and health for anyone is actually social connections. And we have a ton of data right now, real facts, that show that when you actually wear the mask, you contribute to the spread of every infection disease. Even CDC's last week came out that from all the tests that they've done, the positive ones were wearing masks, up to 70% of those people, and the people that didn't wear the mask maybe represented like 3 or 5%. So the data and real science is actually on our side.
All right, the march is on the way. We're walking up Burrard Street right now, just crossing Smythe, and the energy is wild. We've got a truck up front leading the way. Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson is up there. She's currently running right now in Abbotsford for the upcoming election. So, yeah, let's hear what they're cheering. A lot of people, they say, this is British Columbia. What are people marching about freedom for? We're not in lockdown. What do you have to say about that?
I say they need to go to a country where there has not been any freedom and appreciate why minorities come here to live what we have, our forefathers died for, to give us freedom. And people just take it for granted, and it's right down the corner. They're gonna, there's some really heavy stuff coming along.
It has been quite obvious. It's been slow, and we can see the results right now, where we are confined in the homes, and we are forced to wear masks, and that is taking away our rights. We came to Canada for freedom and for our rights, and I think it's been still slowly taken away from us.
This is crazy to hear, because Australia is very much like Canada when it comes to freedoms and how our government works. So yes, in BC we might not have a huge lockdown, but here you are talking about some crazy restrictions on every aspect of life. So what would you have to say to British Columbians sitting at home who think this type of event is super selfish and just killing everybody's grandma?
Well, I would hope that everybody wakes up, has some common sense, and does not go the way of Victoria, Australia, because right now they are in such a sad state of vibration, and they're just going down such a bad path, and I would be very interested to see where it's going in the next couple of months and years, and I don't think it's going in a good place, and it really worries me. But I'm happy, actually, to a certain extent, that I'm in Canada. I'm happy that I'm right now in a place which has more freedoms than the place that I'm from, but that is in serious danger at the moment, and I'm scared, but I'm also confident in the people here today, that people like this are standing up against the narratives that they've been told. You don't get people like this. You don't get groups gathering like this in big numbers in Victoria and Australia at the moment, because if they do, we've all seen the footage. They all get arrested. They all get beat down by the police. They all get arrested.
Okay, guys. Well, the numbers definitely have gone up since the beginning. I'd say there's at least additional...
Yeah, freedom! Go Canada, yeah! Thank
you! Oh, the love. This is such a terrifying event, as was said earlier, right? But yeah, I'd say there's definitely a couple more hundred added on to the original 400. I think we're pushing about 600 to 800 people now. Just take a look as they fill in. Hey, I remember you guys.
How's it going?
Thanks for coming. We remember that guy from the last one.
The rebel.
Oh, okay, guys, let's see what's going to keep going down.
I say that we should stand up for our rights, stand united, Don't let the government keep fooling us. They've been lying to us for years, and it's about time we stand up for our rights, because the government's supposed to work for us and not us work for them. That's where everyone's getting it wrong.
Also today, I've got buttons, plenty of buttons for anybody who's feeling like they can't wear a mask while they do simple things like grocery shop. So it'll be fun giving these away. So are you going to wear that?
Yeah, yes I am.
Yeah, take a couple. You got a couple. Yeah, you got more than a couple. You got more than that's right. All right, guys, wear them loud and proud. Folks, if you want your own, you can head to maxexemption.ca and pick up the button or pick up the cards, print the cards as well. So you guys are handing out free masks. Are you part of an organization or something?
No, we just care about other people.
Spreading the love. I'm sure you guys are as well, right?
Free masks.
All right. So,
oh, I used to play trumpet.
Are a lot of people from the protest grabbing your masks, or?
We just got here. We just came out just for fun.
What do you
mean? Like, this is the beautiful thing about Canada is you have your opinion, we have our opinion. So.
Absolutely, I love that. Now, what do you think? I'm sure you've caught a couple signs. What do you think the overall vibe of the protest is?
I honestly, this is what Canada is about, right? We're able to discuss. This is discussing. This is not like the United States. This is us showing our rights and having a discussion and being reasonable about it and have a discussion. That's all it is, right?
All right, guys, you guys are here at the protest. Tell us why.
Because I have a granddaughter that has to grow up in this world, and she needs to grow up in the country that my great-grandparents fought and died to maintain freedom for our lives.
But there's a lot of people who say this type of behavior is completely selfish and you're putting people at risk. What's your thought on that?
Educate yourself. And in all fairness, it happens in my own home. My own son actually didn't want me here today, and I won't be able to see my granddaughter for 2 weeks because of it, because they want me to quarantine for that period of time. But no, you can't give in to tyranny. You can't. This is just another form of bullying. You want to stay home, and that makes you feel safe, please do that. You want to wear a mask, please do that. But do not force that on me. We have had, I know it's a touchy subject, but I have friends that have supported abortion for years, and as a Christian, I didn't. That's not my thing. But they had the right to their choice, and this is no different in my way of thinking. It is my choice. I'm not getting vaccinated mandatorily, and I'm not wearing a mask and inhibiting my breathing with my asthma just to make someone else feel better about themselves. I'm just not.
My body, my choice, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
I came to the protest because I want to stand up for Canada, stand on guard for what our country stands for and how wonderful of a country it was, and we want to keep it that way. It's just the propaganda on the media and also in the schools and the universities. That's where I think the most of it came from, so that they got off track. They just went in the wrong direction instead of going into the righteous direction, because the people fought. A lot of people were Christians then, and they fought because they want to make sure our country did stand strong and free, and people had a lot of human rights, women's rights, children, immigration had rights then. They wanted it to prosper and be good for the next generation.
Basically, we came to the protest just to get in the energy and connect with people, get the support, because we really felt like we were alone on this, because we've been facing this since day one, like being forced to wear masks in stores just to buy your groceries, and getting threatened by various government agents that if we don't wear a mask, we're gonna, face some financial, penalties and stuff like that. So, and we just feel it's not really justified. Like, we trust our immune systems. We go through great measures to be healthy and stuff like that, and we just don't see the bodies either. Like,
Well, it's interesting you said that. You're definitely not alone. I don't know if you guys heard, but in Germany, there's medical professionals who have come forward with very similar concerns to what you're saying, even questioning or saying that it shouldn't be called a pandemic, it should be called a new flu. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think it's so-called pandemic, because as you can see from the scientific, the data, whatever the numbers there, the death rate, like every year, even people just die from the, flu or EO, diabetes, obese, and whatever, all the chronic diseases. And the number is so tiny. So how can they so-called pandemic? And so I don't know, because the public media just kind of every day give you all the cases numbers, and then people get kind of the fears and worrisome.
So what about people are saying, well, people keep complaining about mandated vaccinations, but there is no law right now for mandated vaccinations. So what's the big deal?
Watching what's coming in the future. If you can't watch, it's sort of like riding a mountain bike. I've mountain biked for years. You never watch the road right in front of you because you'll fall off the bike. You have to watch down the trail about what's coming. And the mandatory vaccines, and the fact that our government has even purchased the vaccines from China and other countries with our tax dollars, without our approval, look for the signs. All we're doing is looking down the road to see what could be coming, because that's what the chatter is about, the political chatter, and you've got to pay attention to that. So it's not about fighting it when it's already on your doorstep, it's fighting it before it gets to your doorstep.
Freedom!
Let us know in the comments what you thought or what resonated with you. And also, don't forget to head to journalistdefensefund.com. I did have 2 bodyguards here with me today, just in case anything got out of line. I also have a cameraman here as well. So if you want to help support our independent journalism and help keep us safe, go to journalistdefensefund.com. We appreciate your support.